All right, guys, last week on Facebook, I posted a question to my fellow salespeople asking them for some input, asking what we should talk about this upcoming week on YouTube and social media. I'm going to take a peek at the responses. We'll start with the first one and go through it together in real time. First response was from Melissa. She said, let's talk about adapting to the current day market / inflation and how it's affecting all the industries. Yeah, so the market right now is much different today than it was 6 months ago, last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, pre-pandemic. It's been turned upside down multiple times. But the one thing that you should be able to hold on to, some peace of mind, to keep you encouraged and not discouraged, is that consumers become conditioned. We become conditioned to the market. It becomes the new norm. So we're going to get through this. It is going to get better. We're going to get market relief. But for the time being, just know that every single day, your customers, your prospects, your potential clients are becoming more and more conditioned to today's market. So back in the day, right? Back in the day when things were great, and back in the day could have been 6 months ago, last year, or the year before. But I remember, when I first started selling cars and, rates were super low and prices were super low and deals were super aggressive, that when you were the first person to come in contact with your potential client or customer, that was a blessing. You could pluck them out of the market. And that's normally the case. But what happens is, see, when the market's great, it's a blessing to be the first one to be in touch with them. You're probably going to pluck them out of the market. When the market's not so great, it could become a curse. You could become the bearer of bad news. You're giving them this quote and they're like, whoa, they get sticker shock and they got to go find, before they take action, it's like, hold up. Let me go do my due diligence. Let me shop around a little bit because I wasn't expecting that. That's much more than I pay now. You become the bearer of bad news and they have to go to, the second person and the third person, the second company and the third company, just for them to validate what you already told them. So now more than ever, follow up is super important. Following up with your clients, staying in touch with them, and keeping that line of communication open, that dialogue open, is so super important because they're going to hear from most other people and other companies that your price was right in point and it's on point. And what's going to happen? Well, they're probably either going to say, oh, well, I'm already talking to this person now. Melissa or Anthony, they were great, but let me just get it. They're all priced the same anyway, unless of course you made an impact on that person. You were able to keep that communication open, which I'm sure you do, and I'm sure you will. And then they say to themselves, well, they're all priced the same anyway. Let me go back to Melissa. I like her better, and that's ultimately the goal, right? And then I always say that in business and in life, we always want to allow the other person the opportunity to save face. So even if you really didn't hit it off with the prospect or potential client, you want to allow them to save face. You want to allow them to come around to your way of thinking, maybe a point that you really nailed home that they weren't receptive to. Come around to your way of thinking, come back and buy from you, right? Reach out to you at the very least and not feel like their pride or integrity has to be compromised, right? More so their pride. They don't have to swallow their pride, right? They can come back to you and you're there with open arms. A lot of times, salespeople look to make deals by discounting price. But discounting price or lowering price or an aggressive market, yes, it helps make deals happen, but it doesn't add value. Adding value is different. You could add value in any market. So to add value within the product, and a lot of times discounting price diminishes value, right? It diminishes value. Like, do you ever go to Marshall's or Ross and you see a bottle of, shampoo or body lotion or perfume or cologne, and there's like 9 different labels on it, sales stickers, one mustier than the other. It used to be $59, then it's $49, then $39, then $19, and then before you know it says, we'll pay you to buy this, right? So saying that, being facetious, but honestly, discounting price doesn't always add value. Focus on your value proposition. Maybe you're using the same one over the last couple months or couple years. When you go and you pitch somebody, what is your value proposition? What does your pitch sound like? Maybe you got to beef it up a little bit, right? And remind them that, yes, the price right now may be more than you expected. It may be more than you're currently paying. It may have been more than it was in the past. Maybe the highest you've ever seen, but I can promise you one thing, it's the lowest it's ever going to be moving forward. Somebody buying a car, right? Somebody who's complaining about interest rates right now, I bet they wish they would have took advantage of that deal last year. That same person who was complaining last year, I bet they wish they would have bought the car last year when the prices were lower and the rates were lower, right? So some people that you have to really explain that to them, that you may have been waiting to take action, but waiting's not actually working in your favor. If you wait any longer, it's only going to get worse. So, and that's the reality of it. The price of everything is always going to go up. It's always going to continue to climb, right? It's always going to continue to climb. And, I had a customer a few weeks back, and they said, I've never paid over $400 for a car. I've never paid over $400 for a car. But, I mean, they're about to. Trust me, they're definitely going to on their next car. But that same person, I bet once upon a time, they said, I never paid over $300 for a car. So if you're selling whatever you're selling, if it's insurance, if it's solar, real estate, whatever it is, for somebody that may say, maybe it's somebody who says, I've never paid over $1,500 for rent in my life. Well, that person's about to pay $1,700, $2,000, whatever it is, and then that becomes the new baseline. They become conditioned. They never pay more than X until they actually do, right? So just know they will become conditioned. Follow-up's a huge part. You got to hang in there. Focus on your value proposition. Beef it up, your presentation and your value, creating a sense of urgency as to why they should do it now, because it's only going to get higher, and allow them to focus on the value and the future, and how the future is going to be worse than the present if they don't take action right now. Not so much focused on the past and how good it was back then. Focus on the future and how it's going to get worse if you don't do it right now. Create that sense of urgency for them. I remember back, I would say 15 years ago, Geno's Steaks in South Philly. I remember the steaks were like $7, right? And people older than me probably remember, obviously, much less. It was $7, and then it went to $7.50 or $7.25, then $7.50, then it was $8, and $8.50. Now they're like $13, $14. I didn't stop eating cheesesteaks. Now, I did stop because I'm trying to watch my figure a little bit. I know I'm not growing anymore this way, so I don't want to grow anymore this way, but we're not going to stop eating. We're going to keep eating, right? We keep eating. I mean, even DoorDash. I mean, you order something off DoorDash, no matter what you order, it's $30, $20 or $30, the fees, everything. People will pay for something that they want, right? And your customers are asking themselves, can I do it and is it worth it? Can I do it and is it worth it? Can I do it and is it worth it? They usually can do it. That's the thing. They usually could do it. It's question number 2. Is it worth it? That's the one that we have to answer now more than ever. They can do it. They just don't know if it's worth it. People aren't afraid to spend money. They're afraid to make a decision they're going to regret. Mitigate their potential fear of regret. Focus on the present. Right now, this is the best it's ever going to be. Waiting's not going to make it any better. Next time around, if you want to come back and do this next week, next month, or next year, it's going to be even higher. Yes, the prices right now may be higher than they were last year, but they're lowest they're ever going to be. So hopefully that helped a little bit. Focus on follow-up. It's huge. Being the bearer of bad news. Yes, it's a real thing, but if you stay in touch with your customer or your potential client, you will be able to get them back to doing business with you. And just focus on the fact that people are never going to stop buying. They may have a little hesitation, but at some point they become conditioned, and you just got to hang in there and tough it out. And the ones that tough it out right now, because listen, there's somebody you're competing with right now who just quit their job. They just quit. I mean, mathematically, they literally did. I mean, whatever field you're in, they just quit. That makes you even better. That makes you even stronger, because that person probably had some experience. And if you were to rate them overall as to what they are or how good they are at their job, let's say on a scale of 1 to 100, they were a 70 or 75. They're being replaced by somebody right now who's a 30, who's brand new, who's a 20, who's a 10. Your competition just got weaker. So don't quit. Hang in there. Keep going, and we're going to get through this market together. Hopefully that helped. Melissa, thanks for posting on the page, and I'll talk to everybody soon. Hey, my friend, thank you for watching. And if you want to see videos just like this one, please like and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate the love and support. And don't forget, leave some comments down below. I'm looking forward to all of your interaction and feedback, and I can't wait to bring you more videos just like this one. Thanks again. I'll talk to you soon.